You're listening to the Workbench After Hours podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to the Second Amendment, where we talk about firearms, everything that's going on in the gun community, and we even try a different whiskey every week. In this week's episode, number 74, we're going to discuss the fact that the gun control groups have actually said it. They've said that they want to ban all guns just because there's a Democratic governor in Colorado. Joe Biden also recently gave a commencement speech at an all-black school and talked 26 minutes about his agenda and how he wants to ban AR-15s. So a lot of crazy stuff to go over in this episode, and the whiskey of the week is Keeper's Heart Irish plus Bourbon. Welcome back to episode 74. Chris is here with me today, and we got a different bourbon/whiskey to try. What do we got, Chris?
Keeper's Heart whiskey, Irish plus bourbon.
We tried their white labeled one, I don't know, quite a while back, which is the Irish plus American. So now I picked this one up to try it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, so it basically combines two different Irish whiskeys and an American bourbon. And it comes in at 92 proof, 46%. And so really you get the two different kinds of Irish whiskey are triple distilled pot still whiskey, and then another Irish of grain whiskey, both from Ireland, both aged over 4 years in refilled American bourbon barrels. And then you have a U.S. bourbon that is aged over 4 years in virgin oak barrels. Yes. So on the nose, going to be, or should be getting a rich caramel and a freshly baked pecan pie, which I really like pecan pie.
Definitely get the caramel.
For sure.
There's something else in there. I don't know what it is.
Is that pecan pie?
It doesn't smell like a pecan. It reminds me of, oh man. It might be, but
I can get a sense of the pecan pie, but mostly caramel.
Yeah, I'm getting heavy caramel.
And on the taste, you're supposed to get peppery with some herbal notes, sweet with vanilla milkshake, cocoa, and Tootsie Roll.
Not getting Tootsie Roll.
I got the pepper right up front.
Yeah. If you let it just sit on the tongue too, you get it, and it lasts pretty good. You definitely get that sweetness to it, almost like honey.
Yeah, so I let it sit on my tongue and then swallowed, and then that pepper just kind of really gets your tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah, it doesn't go away.
I kind of like that, though. It's different. But yeah, definitely getting the sweet notes, too. Kind of like the vanilla caramel.
Yeah.
Tootsie Roll. It's been a hot minute since I've had one, but I'm not.
I don't get it. That's more chocolatey to me.
Yeah. So
I'm not getting chocolate at all.
But this is really good.
It is really good.
I was at a liquor store, months back, and they had both of these, the white one and then this one that we tried. And I'm like, I don't want to try the American plus Irish because we've had that. So I tried this. And when I first tried it, granted, they only give you a small amount.
Yeah.
It almost had a Scotch flavor to me. So that's kind of what I was expecting with this, is to have like a little more Scotchy because it has a little more earthiness to it.
Yeah, but it's not. It's
But
not like that at all.
It's not. I'm not getting that at all this time. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting like the very caramel, peppery, vanilla. I don't know about earthy, but you do have a real sweetness to it, though.
Yep, and a lingering, pleasant, sweet, rich wood finish.
I don't know about the wood finish. Definitely get the pepper.
Yeah, that pepper like just stays on your tongue.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like super spicy or anything. It's hard to explain. It's not like what you get with like a Jack Daniel's.
No, it's just like enough that, hey, I'm here.
Yes.
And that's about it.
And it just stays on your, like the tip of your tongue.
It's usually Jack Daniel's like, ooh, that's peppery, and you got it down your chest. You can feel it.
Yeah, there's no burn in the chest.
There's no burn. It's just you got that peppery caramel on the palate.
I mean, I could easily drink this straight without adding any ice to it for sure.
Oh, yeah, it's good. I was kind of shocked because it's an Irish. And usually the Irish whiskeys, they got that little peatiness and earthy tones to it.
But then when you mix it with that U.S. bourbon, you get the more woodiness, spiciness to it. So I think it's a good combination of those three.
Yeah, that's really good. I'm quite shocked. That might be one to add to the shelf.
Yes, it's God, the price has been changing. It was really high there for a while. So I think I bought this for like upper 30s, maybe low 40s.
I mean, that's not bad.
For
It's starting to get in the single barrel range of things.
Yes. And it's good for
Yeah.
something different anyway.
Yeah.
If you're looking to branch out from just whiskey or bourbon, haven't really gone the Irish whiskey route, this is kind of a good.
This doesn't remind me of Irish whiskey at all. Than what we've had in the past.
The problem is we've had so much over so long of time. Like what we had originally in like say the first 30 episodes
Yeah.
versus what we had now. I mean, our tastes have adjusted.
Oh,
We've gotten way more, used to like what we would have hated when
Yeah.
I first started. We now really like. So
Yep.
we like the more complex stuff. Like last week we had Evan Williams regular on for
Yeah.
the first time. Again, I wasn't a fan. It wasn't bad for the price, obviously $15.
Yeah, you can't beat
give
it.
or take. Can't beat it, but I don't know. I just like
Wasn't very complicated for you.
exactly.
I mean, I'm starting to notice like certain little things that you didn't notice before. Like first time I had Blanton's, I didn't taste like banana, and I get a little bit of a banana note in that now. After I go back to it, and I'm like, huh.
It's been a minute since I've had Blanton's.
Yeah.
I got a bottle over there. I don't want to open it until I find another one though.
I know that's.
Same
I
boat
don't
you're
want
in.
to. Yeah, I don't want to finish mine until it's open. Until I get another.
Yeah, I mean it's so smooth, easy to drink, neat. Oh, I almost don't want to add ice to it, but we're gonna try it with ice and
Yeah.
see how it.
I mean, this is really good. So, did you use AI to edit our last video?
I did not.
Are you sure?
Yeah, why?
Because when I watched it, it kept like there like a lot of cuts. Like it took out.
I did the cuts.
Oh, okay.
So
like a lot
anywhere-
of dead space.
Yeah, I cut out a lot of dead space or like where I tend to trip up on my words. I started doing that again. I used to do it when we first started, then I stopped, and then I'm like, I'm gonna start doing it again. Especially for those who listen to audio only.
Yeah.
When we're tasting a whiskey and you're watching us, that's different versus just if you're listening audio only, there's that silence and it's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
So I try to kind of cut a little bit of that out so it's not so awkward on just the audio only.
Yeah. I watched it and I was like, oh, there's a lot of cuts in here. I wonder if he tried doing the chatterbox
No.
that we were talking about. Okay.
I think there's a fee for that.
Is there? I don't know.
I don't know, but I don't know. I'm kind of leery of that AI stuff.
So am I. Have you seen? I think I was on Snapchat today, and they have an AI for you. Have you been on?
Yes.
I was like, what the?
I don't do a whole lot on Snapchat.
Neither do I. But
I mean, my wife and I and like some family members will do some, I'll get videos of my nieces and stuff like that. But
yeah,
want some more in there?
yeah,
I don't do a whole lot with that. I don't know. If I was like younger, Snapchat would be cool. And when I traveled a lot, taking cool pictures was cool, but I don't do anything that cool anymore.
yeah,
To Snapchat. I don't know. I'm going to California tomorrow, so
yeah.
Maybe
I
I'll
hardly get on there, and I just got on there today and saw AI. I was like, what the?
yep. Man, I know. I'm going to a communist country tomorrow.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ah,
Better not have anything with gun-related wiring or
the
America theme.
I know. We're going for a family wedding, and this side of the family is very they were very pro-Trump, and so we're all on the same page. We're all stuck in California. Cherry
Yeah.
Valley, just 2 hours east of LA. I'm really looking forward to going to an In-N-Out Burger.
Oh my god,
Love that
I
place.
missed that.
I know. I looked at the map, and I'm like, there's several on our way. So I'm like, stopping.
Yeah, so good. I wish they had one here.
I know. Instead of these stupid Whataburgers.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, Whataburger's nice, but
I don't
In-N-Out's
like it.
so much better.
I don't know if how nationwide it is, but that Burger Shack,
Yeah, I've had it. I wasn't.
I think the closest we're going to get to, maybe that and Five Guys is the closest we're going to get to.
I say Five Guys is probably closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Five Guys better than that Burger Shack.
I like it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's terrible for you. No.
Well, everything's terrible for you
Right.
anymore.
You know what's terrible for us? Joe Biden.
Yes, he is.
A lot of the times if you are, having a guest speaker doing your commencement speech, usually it's somebody of high note. And if you're the one school that gets the president, that's like, sweet. probably a pain in the ass because of security,
Yeah.
but it's also like, cool.
Yeah.
But then you realize it's Biden. Is he going to be able to get through this speech?
Let
Is
alone
he gonna,
give a speech.
Yeah, and then is he going to know where to go? Is he going to get confused? Who knows? Like it's and I can't imagine. I did not watch the whole speech. I don't think I could, but I'm sure it was cringy.
Yeah.
And just the clips we have here.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think when I graduated from JCCC, Sharice Davis came. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And her speech was really well. Nothing to do with politics, which I was happy about. And it more focused on being congratulating us on our achievements. And this is a good time to remember and all that.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Like you're not there to give your political agenda. You're there to give guidance to these new graduates and, maybe talk about what you're going to do for their future as far as jobs and stuff like that. But that's about it.
Yeah.
The rest, give them advice and tell them, I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe tell us about your life story so we can see where you came from. Maybe.
Yes. Did that happen with Joe Biden? Hell no. There's 26 minutes of his, I don't know how long the speech was, but I've heard that there was 26 minutes of him basically giving his agenda and saying the same things that we've heard over and over again. And he was at a pretty much an all-black school.
Yeah.
And what he was getting at is racism and getting rid of guns. And then he was like, oh, I passed the assault weapons ban back 30 years ago or whatever. Well, what he doesn't realize is that caused a lot of black citizens to get longer, more strict sentences for the guns
that they had.
Yeah. So that was kind of a
slap in the face.
Yeah. And then the whole white supremacy thing is bigger than terrorism and all this stuff. And it was just terrible. Colin Noir put out a great video, and I took a clip of that, but it was not good. It's like, man, you're the president and you are just going to push
your agenda.
Yeah. Tell us, if you're going to do that, at least tell us what you're going to do to give us jobs.
Yeah.
Lower our student debt or whatever.
Yeah.
Something
that he promised about becoming president.
Why would you even bring up gun control in the AR ban?
Yeah, especially at colleges. Most colleges now are concealed carry.
Yeah.
So,
not that day.
Yeah, not that day, I'm sure.
So
but
let's listen. I took a short clip of just his speech, and it's like, really, guy?
Unity over disunion, progress over retreat. Stand up against the poison of white supremacy, as I did in my inaugural address, to single out as the most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy. And I'm not saying this because I'm at a black HBCU. I say it wherever I go. Because of your power, we took the most significant law on gun violence. We passed it, most significant law in 30 years. But we will not give up. I got the assault weapons ban passed 30 years ago, and we're going to pass it again. We must pass it. There's more to do on police reform and public.
This whole white supremacy thing, I'm really getting tired of hearing. Mm-hmm. Just because if people do the research and look at Black Lives Matters, how much of that money actually went to the black families and stuff?
None. It all went to make those people rich.
Yeah, and one of them was actually a terrorist.
Yeah.
Domestic terrorist.
Colin Noir's video that I took that clip from, there's some segments in there too that showed Joe Biden's past.
Yeah.
And how he kind of had relations with some white supremacists.
Yeah.
And I know things were way different when he was first getting into politics and stuff like that, but it's still like some of the people that he was, I guess, partners with, or he even admits being friends with, it's like those guys were racist. And
yeah.
How can you be pushing this stuff now?
Here's the thing. If you want to get rid of this whole racism and stuff like that, you want equal quality and all that, don't bring up stupid shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're making
at an all-black school.
Yeah, and you're wanting that helps you divide more by preaching this.
Yes.
So, like, there's got to be a fine line. You can't just go, oh, we're end white supremacy. I was listening to the news this morning about something that happened. I don't remember what state it was. And they said like a majority of it was white supremacy. I was like, how do we know this? Are these actual facts? Like, is there still a KKK that people are going to? Like,
I'm sure there is, and there are white supremacists out there, but
it's like that's who they're going to be, the culprit. If you're white supremacist now.
If you also are white and are a gun advocate, you kind of get
put
lumped in
that,
there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, you want to, that's probably their agenda, divide us, so then we can't take control over this tyranny government that we have. So,
yes. Speaking of agenda, you know how we're always telling people that, yes, we have the Second Amendment, we got all these groups that help us out, but all those gun control groups and people that want to ban guns, it started off with, let's ban AR-15s, AK-47s.
yeah.
Then it was turned to assault weapons. And then with recent legislation and bills that we've seen passed, it's expanded that to where it's banning just pistols or anything that holds more than
10 rounds.
10 rounds. And that is a lot more than just ARs, AKs. Well, this one moms group, I forgot what the actual name of it is, but it's all these moms in Colorado. And all these other gun groups, politicians kind of skirt around what they want to do.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh, we want common sense gun control, stuff like that. When in reality, they just want to completely ban guns at the end. So what they're doing is common sense gun control is what they're calling it, but they're stripping away the Second Amendment right bits at a time to get to that end goal. Well, this moms group, I can't remember the name, but they just flat out said, no, we want to ban all guns. We have a Democratic governor, so we want to ban all guns. So in kind of a messed up way, kudos to them for actually saying what they actually want and not just kind of skirting around it. But at the flip side, it's like, this is real. Like, this isn't just a small group of people. There's a lot of people that think this way, and they see this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Like, if they're gonna ban guns, fine, take it away from their police too. At that point, and let's see how fast that narrative changes.
There's a couple of funny thing in here we'll see, but this is kind of the clip of this moms that were making a rally to go to the governor. I don't know when this happened, but it was recent. But here's a couple clips from that.
This message is for everyone, but especially white women.
We're being called to show up in Denver on June 5th with an executive order demanding that Governor Polis ban guns and buy them back.
You heard that right. Ban guns and buy them back. We're starting with Denver because Colorado has high levels of school shootings and the governor is a Democrat.
These moms are taking on guns with a plan to ban them altogether in the state. On June 5th, an estimated group of 25,000 plan to demand Governor Polis sign their drafted executive order.
You're going to ask Governor Polis to do what? Do you think that's really going to happen? Guns are going to be banned in the state of Colorado? What are you smoking?
Yeah, we get that a lot. And I hear that. Like, it sounds out there. It sounds out there to me still. But I'm deep in the work, which helps, right? And I really believe, like, in every fiber of my being, that this is something that we can do.
Today, I live in a home with guns. So I am a walking contradiction, if you will, and I'm happy to be honest about that. I'm willing to change my life. My husband is too, and say, whether or not Polis signs this, we can get rid of our guns.
And there's the divorce papers.
You own guns, so you're already going against what you think now.
Hypocrite.
But you're okay to give up your guns. You are a huge hypocrite.
Yeah.
And, okay, you're wanting to ban. Get rid of them. What are you doing?
Yeah, we still got them.
What do all these other moms here that are, with every fiber of their being, think that they're going to be able to get this done? It's those Terminator Karens wanting to ban all guns because they have a Democratic governor. And I know she says they think it's out there, but here's why they think they can get it done.
Today, Colorado Governor Jared Polis signed 4 new gun bills into law aimed at curbing gun violence across the state. The 4 bills designed to strengthen the state's red flag law, raise the minimum age to buy a firearm up to 21, enact a 3-day waiting period for all gun purchases, and to remove immunity protections for gun makers.
So he, on top of the other gun laws that they have that are kind of BS, he also just signed in 4 new gun bills into law. So they're like, okay, our governor, Democrat, he's kind of signing all these guns. So we do have a chance. And honestly, they're not wrong.
Yeah.
That's the scary part right there.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
The fact that these ladies, went out in public and admitted that this is what they want and this is how they think. Think of all the people that are thinking the same way.
How many of them are actually women, though?
Yeah. And this is like, we're calling all white women especially.
Yeah, like,
okay,
what about
why?
transgenderism and all that?
Oh, I'm sure any transgender isn't pro 2A.
Yeah, but still, like, taking away rights. I mean,
so we're gonna call in War had a good one for this. We're gonna call them Terminator Karens from now on.
Terminator Karens, that's awesome.
God,
that
like
people need to go back to history and actually look at like the Democratic Party and what they try to do.
Mm-hmm.
They don't teach this stuff in school, so go do your research and actually do the homework. They wanted to have us divided. They wanted slavery. They want to take control. They're wanting to take control back then. Their agenda is still the same. They're just finding other ways of how can we take control. Oh, we can divide them now because guns are an issue. Okay, let's talk about all these knife stabbings. Is knives the issue or is it the person? Majority of the time, it's the person. They always say it's the person's fault. Oh, this person got caught with so many pounds of drugs on them. It's not the drug's fault. It's the person. Oh, it's the gun's fault, though, if someone gets shot and killed. The narrative has changed. Why did that narrative change compared to all the other ones?
Because guns are bad and scary.
Yeah. But we all know, like, as soon as we give up our guns to them, we're pretty much going to be communism. And if you all think that's good, go to Russia right now and have fun. You'll see what real communism is. Or go to China. Mm-hmm. Your little TikToks and your freedoms of speeches that you think you have here that you love and have, go over there and say that in their countries. You'll probably be murdered or killed the same day.
I mean, at the same time, we technically, we have free speech, but they're really trying to suppress that. Like with YouTube and Facebook, I can't do anything with guns.
Yeah.
I can't. It's so hard to get the truth and education out there about guns because they are trying to suppress anything gun related.
Yep.
So you get one half of the story that they're trying to push the agenda of why they're bad, but the other group who's trying to explain why they're wrong and here's how to look at it differently, the good things that having a gun can do and all this stuff is getting suppressed to where that's not really free speech.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a scary time. Really scary.
And this is just getting worse and worse. Like I said, it started from we're going to ban AKs, ARs.
Yep.
So now, blatantly, we want to ban every gun.
Yeah. Anything that holds, it's crazy too. They're calling pistols now assault pistols if they hold more than 10 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, quit using this language.
We talked about, I think it was 1 or 2 podcasts ago, about the ATF director or somebody from the ATF was getting asked to define an assault weapon or assault, and they could not.
Yeah.
He could not come up with a definition.
Yeah, the definition changes to whatever they want.
It's a made-up term.
Yep.
To make it scary.
And if you actually go look up the definition of what it is, it's actually a full auto.
Yes. Which, all these back here look like they're scary full autos, but they're not. They are not full autos. They are not assault rifles. These are semi-automatic.
Let's change the AR name because I think that's where a lot of people, AR stands for assault rifle.
True.
They don't do their homework. That's what everybody else wants you to know. So let's change the name of it. Let's rename the AR.
America's Rifle.
Well, not even.
That's still AR, though.
Yeah, it is.
Dang it.
I don't know. FR, Freedom Rifle or something like that,
Yep.
FR-15.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think if you just change the name of the gun right now, that's not an AR, it's an FR. What?
Well, according to Biden, it's an AR-14.
Yeah.
Yeah. And more and more shootings are being shown on media, and I'm sure you guys have heard of it. That one in Serbia,
Yeah.
where and Serbia has really strict gun laws anyway, right? So there was a 7th grader, 13 years old, who went into a school with a handgun and killed some people. Unfortunately, terrible. It's not, we don't support that at all, but it happened. Well, in Serbia, children cannot be prosecuted no matter the crime. So this actually 7th grader actually kind of turned himself in, like he was captured alive. It's not like here where they get killed by police or kill themselves. This kid was arrested and taken into custody, not being charged because, again, Serbian law, he is a child at that point still and cannot be charged even though he killed X amount of people. Guess who's being charged?
Parents.
The father is being charged because he owned the pistols and the kid had access to those pistols to do what he did.
And see, I almost feel like America needs to go to that. They do it already with alcohol and parties and underage drinking. If your kids get caught at an underage party and it's at your house, you're going to get charged for supplying minors with alcohol for underage because it's at your house.
So you think...
What's the difference? Well, with that, I think if we did it right now, a lot of the parents would probably be a lot carefuler with how they have their guns, how they're storing them. They'd be more probably responsible with it because I guarantee their kid goes to school with a gun and shoots it up, and they go to jail for life because of what their kid did, and their kid killed themselves. Oh, they're going to be thinking long and hard in prison for the rest of their life.
That can be a very sensitive subject there. I mean, a lot of times your child may not be showing signs of, I mean, a lot of kids can hide stuff. Like, hell, look at Robin Williams. Nobody knew he was suffering from, and then he ended up killing himself. It's the same thing. They could be showing no signs publicly or even to the parents, but with the door closed in their bedroom, what's going through their head? What are they surfing social media? And then all of a sudden, say you take this kid shooting and show them, and they know where your guns are, but to you, nothing seems wrong, so you're not worried. But then one day, out of the blue, kid snaps, finds your pistol and goes and does that, and then you're going to jail for the rest of your life for it.
If the kid has access to your pistol, you need to be changing the way you lock it up. There's precautions.
What age do you draw that line? Obviously, with here, once you hit a certain age, you can be charged as an adult, and it's different.
Yeah,
but where do you draw that line to where you're still a minor? Your parents are going to get charged versus you're an adult.
I think if you can't be tried as an adult, parents are going to get charged. Simple as that.
I think
just like how did a kindergartner get a gun, go to school, and shoot? Like, first off, parent didn't have it locked up. First off, he had it chambered. And thirdly, your kindergarten knew where it was and how to get it. That should never be an option for your kid.
Yeah.
Like, simple as that. That's we're talking about being a responsible gun owner. So
anybody listening, give us your input on this.
Yeah, because I think
in the comments, let us know.
Because if they do it already to us now if let's say when my kid becomes a teenager, has a party, gets caught by the police, I'm going to get charged with supplying alcohol to minors. He's going to get in trouble for underage drinking.
Correct.
So what's the difference? There's really no difference at that point. It's your gun. You're responsible for it, just like you're responsible for your alcohol. So that just makes you be responsible and make sure that, hey, my kid can't get it. He can't lock it. He doesn't know where the keys are. Like, you could lock up your gun completely safe and then lock up the whole. I mean,
so you have younger kids, so it's not an issue right now. But at what point, say your kids get in the shooting and you guys enjoy doing that together, at what are you just never going to let them know, say like the combo to your safe or something?
They're never going to know that.
Like even when they hit a
at
certain
that
age?
point, I will probably take my combo off and it'll be key, and I'll be the only one with that key. And then usually, and if that's the case too, I'll probably have everything locked up inside the safe too. Bolt carriers will be locked up, everything.
Is everything in your house now locked up?
Yeah.
Fair.
I don't have it doubled, but I know that they don't have the strength. But I know once they start getting that teenage, everything's gonna be double locked, ready to go. Then they don't have keys.
So what your guys' thoughts are on that. But because of this one incident, the Serbian president is disarming all citizens. It took one incident, one 13-year-old kid, and now the whole country is being disarmed. And so they had really strict gun laws to begin with, but now they are disarming every law-abiding citizen, and the penalties for getting caught are now going to double than what they were. What do you think about that?
It's the government. I mean, we're heading down that road at this point almost. They're like, trying to ban everything, even though we have our own rights and our amendment, Second Amendment, which
it took one kid to ruin it for the entire country.
Yeah. Like, it's just like these third world countries.
What? Let's invade Serbia now because their citizens can't help defend. They're gonna have to be like Ukraine and hand them out.
Yeah, I mean, people like, oh, the government will never do that. Okay, they did it to the Indians. They've done it to I don't know how many other countries. It's just like our ATF here. They don't take responsibility for their actions. Look at they kept things they weren't supposed to. They lost things they shouldn't have had. And they're not being, but they should be. Mm-hmm. They should be disbanded for that. Like, we need to start holding people accountable. And we also need to be able to discipline our children when they do fuck up. Because nowadays, kids don't, I'm not getting yelled at. I know if I heard that belt or that door slam, I knew my ass was grass when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
You do that today, you're going to jail. That's child abuse.
Yep, that is.
Children
things are different.
Yeah, like
we got crazy violent video games that people are playing.
Rated M for mature, which you're supposed to be over a certain age, and we got freaking middle schoolers, if not elementary schoolers, playing these games. How the hell are they even on here? It's rated M for mature. Kick them off.
And going back to these Terminator Karens from Colorado, so it looked like a lot of that was on social media.
Yeah.
So if you're scrolling through, say that's on TikTok or something, and you're scrolling through that, well, AI learns your behavior and it sees that you stopped on that video. Guess what? It's going to start pushing more and more stuff like that.
Yep.
So now you saw that one video. Now you're going to start seeing a lot of gun banners, more Terminator Karens that are wanting to push that agenda. And that's all of a sudden, that's all you're going to start seeing. Like if I look at one thing if I stop on one video or one stupid scroll on Facebook, I start seeing nothing but that.
I swear it's listening.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I was sitting there watching videos the other day with my coworker, and he goes, I just watched that one like 10 minutes ago. Oh, I would just watch that video too 10 minutes ago. I was like, what? And then we were talking about something. The next thing he had an ad for that object that we were talking about, and then a sale and a coupon for it. I was like, that is scary.
That happens all the time. I'll be talking with somebody about something, and all of a sudden, next time I scrolling through Facebook, I start seeing ads for that, what we talked about. Never did a search for it.
Yeah.
Ever. And then all of a sudden, Facebook ads. Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, too, social media kids should not have.
And it's only getting worse.
Yeah.
Especially with all this AI. I mean.
Yeah, at this point, I wouldn't even give my kid a phone.
At this point, you're not going to know what's true and false.
Yeah.
If this is really Tom Cruise saying, oh, yeah, let's ban guns, or if that's just a Terminator Karen with his AI.
Yeah.
That's scary. And even
that's something that needs to be governed, and
there was
too late.
Chatterbox
GPT or whatever.
Yeah, so the CEO of that kind of went before Congress and said, look, this is going to be dangerous. Here's 4 takeaways away from this, and I think it's almost too late, and that's kind of what I'm saying. It's like that's
what a guy from Google, too, who's like the grandfather of AI, he says, we can't go back now.
Which, is there no delete button?
Well, with AI, it's always continuing learning and getting smarter than us.
Right. So you can't go to Chat GTP or whatever it is and just pull the servers and shut it down?
I think it learns. It learns at an extremely fast rate that it's probably to the... That's a scary part, too. Like, if it is learning that fast, let's say like you are controlling a manufacturing plant, and it sees, hey, this is wrong. It goes in there and fixes it automatically. Now it just took control of your freaking plant.
And there's no override button.
Yeah.
Or it does, and it's going to
screw everything up, and then you're out millions. But we're talking about cybersecurity. I'd be more worried about AI security at this point. Like AI, once it gets in there and starts learning, it changes everything, parameters, and oh man, it's going to go crazy. We're in iRobot. We're almost there. We're almost at Terminator.
iRobot, Terminator. And then we got Terminator Karen to look out for. Jesus.
We're going to need these guns before too long.
I know. So, taking a break for that, what do you think of this on the rocks?
It changed a little bit. You don't get that spicy.
I know you don't get that pepper on your tongue.
At all.
It's still really good.
It is good.
Like, this is a really good. I like it. I'm definitely going to keep this one. Actually, I'm not going to keep this one because I will probably drink it. But
keep it on the buy.
Keep it on the
buy list.
To buy list, yes. There's been several recently where it's a don't buy again.
Yep.
This is definitely kind of like the 12-year Russell's Reserve 12-year or 10-year.
10-year.
That's a always buy.
Yeah.
So good.
I was at the Lucas Liquor. They had Russell, and they also had their single barrel, and I was like, ooh.
Did you buy the single barrel?
No, I didn't. I was like, man, they had a whole bunch of it, and I was like, oh, I should have bought it.
Was it what, $50, $60?
54.
Single barrel.
And the Russell's 10-year was still like $5 higher than mine out here.
Yeah, if you can find it, your guy.
Yeah. But, oh, yeah.
Man.
I was hoping to find blends.
Yes. But this stuff is really good.
Yeah.
The rocks take away that little bit of pepperiness, but that's not a problem. It makes
No.
it a little bit easier to drink.
Yeah.
'Cause I sat here and I took a sip of it neat when I was empty on the rocks, and yeah, I mean, you're naturally going to get more flavors neat because this waters it down.
Yeah.
But it's still good on the rocks.
Oh, it's real good.
Man, I'm glad I don't have to work tomorrow.
Lucky bastard.
Sit here, edit the podcast manually, not through AI.
I don't feel well. Just drink all night.
Right. So, every time there's a shooting, that there's always that push for gun control, gun control, right? So we always say this, the most recent one, it's kind of getting out of hand, but it's, again, we've talked about this, mental health, everything going on. But to kind of steer away from that, this one that happened in Allen, Texas recently, the shooter, did you hear about that one?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And so going back to Serbia, the kid with a pistol still was able to kill more people than the guy with an AR from Allen, Texas. The kid killed more people than this guy did, and he had a pistol. On top of that, this guy that did it in Allen, Texas, was in the Army, got discharged from the Army because of mental health issues that they were starting to see, and then he was kind of showing signs of racism and stuff like that. So he was kicked out of the Army and then joined a security group, being a security guard or doing private security, whatever he was doing. Guess what never showed up on his background check when he was purchasing
His
guns?
mental, probably.
The issues that he got discharged from the Army.
Yep.
And so this guy was then able to buy guns, and with this security group that he was with, they have to go through extensive training. And so not only is he getting trained on tactics, and he's getting trained on how to use guns in different situations, going through extensive background checks as well to be part of the security firm. None of that discharge from the Army showed up on his account. So then guess what happened?
Dishonorably discharged. Because there's like, you got honorable discharge.
You're right.
You got dishonorable, which you don't want. Other than honorable, you also have like a medical discharge or retirement. So I wonder if it was dishonorable or if it was other than honorable.
I don't know.
Because if it's dishonorable, I know a lot of like companies and things like that, that's almost like a felony to an extent. Like you're not going to get a government job or a security job with a dishonorable discharge.
Maybe it wasn't in this case then.
Yeah, I want to know if if what they don't say, they just say he just got discharged out. But if I was thinking he got discharged out, that either would have to be medical, which it could have been for mental issues, which should have been stated. Other than honorable, it could have been, or it's dishonorable. So I was really like, which one is it?
Right.
Why aren't they telling you?
But big picture here.
Yeah.
Gun control would not have stopped this.
No.
Because he was still able to he went through extensive background checks.
Yeah.
Had the training. and something caused this to happen. And that brings it. It's a mental health issue. It's not a gun issue. And I don't know why I hate to say it, but it's always the Democrats, as Terminator Karen said, because of I love that term. They keep saying it. But it's because they realize, oh, we have a Democratic governor. Oh, we have a Democratic president. Guess what? We're going to push this stuff, but gun control does not work.
It doesn't work.
The Army should have flagged him in some way, yes.
Yeah.
Because
if it
they
is medically
signs,
discharged for that, it should have been.
If you're getting discharged from the Army for anything other than honorable, it should be a flag.
Yeah.
Maybe not medical, like,
yeah, because sometimes they do medical. They'll do medical retirement, and they'll do other than honorable, which that's kind of a gray area because you can go back and reapply for honorable.
Mm-hmm.
So, because it doesn't show dishonorable, it's other than honorable. So you got kicked out for something they don't know what.
And there's a lot of people that get kicked out of the armed services because they're a little too intense, and I mean those people should get flagged.
That and I know, like when I re-enlisted, you get discharged, you get your honorable. Okay, so let's say I re-enlisted for another 4 years. You could still get kicked out in that 4 years, but you still have that honorable discharge, so you can use that. So, yeah, it's a gray area. I think if they did an extensive background, he must have lied somewhere. If they asked him, hey, why'd you get kicked out? And it was for mental issues, he had to have lied to them.
Oh, wait. So you can lie on stuff?
Wow. Crazy, huh?
Oh,
I'm pretty sure under most employment, this is to the best of my knowledge.
So
if they don't ask those certain questions, to my best of my knowledge, I'm still good. It's all about interpretation. Like, no one's going to be able to read someone 100% as well as most people can read other people.
Right.
But, yeah. If they don't ask, hey, what'd you get kicked out for? And he's like, I just fell asleep or something. It didn't say it was medical, because if medical, there you go. You can't tell them what the medical reason why, because of HIPAA. So if you do have mental issues, you can't tell them that. You don't have to tell them that because of HIPAA.
Yeah, but at some point there needs to be a...
But that, remember though, when we look back, your local and anything else was supposed to flag you when you do that. So this all goes back to, like, people aren't following up and doing their job, like flagging these people the right way.
By people, we mean the government.
Yeah.
Who's wanting to do the strict gun control isn't
doing it so they can push their agenda. Oh, this person was bad. We had an idea or suspicion about it. No, you knew about it. You just didn't choose to do the right procedures.
Oh, no, it's not that. It's the gun. We should ban guns.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
But that's what it comes down to. Like, people aren't being compliant and doing their job like they're supposed to. I guarantee since this did happen, if let's say, hey, they had mental issues, the doctor didn't flag it, local government knew about it, they didn't flag it, go and sue their asses and see how fast this stuff will start changing. Because the only way you're going to get these stuff to actual change is to start going back and holding people accountable that knew there was an issue.
Yep.
Hold people accountable.
Nope. We're gonna
blame the gun. That's what's accountable. Yeah.
But if somebody drives through a crowd and kills 20 people,
yeah, it's a person's fault, not the car.
Exactly. We're not going to ban cars.
Yeah.
It wasn't the car's fault.
Car was controlled by AI. It was a Tesla. And it had autopilot.
So we can compare a trigger of a gun to the accelerator of a car.
Yeah. It's crazy. Crazy.
Yes.
This really reminds me of, like, the Ted Lasso series. I was watching this last episode. I don't know if you've seen that.
I've only seen the first season and, like, a couple episodes of this. Like, I don't have Apple TV anymore.
You're killing me, Smalls. So I was talking.
It's
so
what, season 3?
Season 3.
Okay.
The last episode. one of the guys went off on someone in the crowd because they called the teams, I'm not going to say the word, but a pile of sticks. And he just found out one of his teammates, like his best friend that he's been in the league with, they've been all through whatever, he found out he was gay. And like he kept it to himself and he just went off on this person. And everyone was in the press conference and asking, hey, what happened? Why did this happen? He's like, I don't know. It's not my thing, but I'm going to tell you a story. When I was back in my youth playing soccer, I told this guy told him a joke saying like, oh, I'm young enough to be your son or something. The guy snapped on him. And the guy got kicked out of the soccer league, never played soccer. And he says he ran into him later down the road. He's like, I apologize for what I said because I found out I was immature, but I also found out like a week prior he lost a baby that they were trying to have. He's like, you don't know what's going on in people's head at all times. No one does. He's like, but you need to treat people like you want to be treated and be kind. And I was like, damn, that hit home. That should be on every fucking thing.
Going back to basics.
Basics, yeah,
Treat
crazy.
people how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
And again, you don't know what people are going through.
Yeah,
and that happens a lot during road rage. It's like you don't know what that person. Maybe they're in a hurry to get to somebody in the hospital. Like maybe something you don't know. Yeah,
it's crazy.
You
don't know like what people are going through, so you gotta be kind of leery of what you say and do.
Yep.
And keep an eye on each other. Look out for each other. Ask questions. Hey, is everything okay?
I wish we can get freaking. God, what's his name? Ted Lasso on the podcast. That'd be funny.
He's from Kansas City.
I know.
Let's bring him on.
I know.
Talk about soccer.
I don't know anything about soccer.
Neither do I.
I guess he started off not knowing anything about soccer, so there you go. We're in the same boat there.
Yep. So
cool. Yeah, that's just crazy stuff we've been seeing, and it's getting worse and worse. Did you also see I can't remember if we talked about this or not, but the video of the ATF
going door to door with guns on them? Yeah, I saw the video and I was like, man.
They went to the owner of this company that supplies stuff to the not Secret Service, but the like SEAL teams.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I make these
sugars straight up for your government.
Yeah, like I make not that trigger, but he makes like their
component or something like that.
He makes something for the SEAL team. He's like the SEAL team 6 or whatever. But he had a really good point in that video.
Yeah.
Those agents, granted, they're doing it for a job. It's a job. Everybody's got to do a job and follow the bosses. But at the same time, it's like, wake up. What you're doing
is wrong.
And you have the capacity to say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go door to door and take this stuff from these law-abiding citizens. And those ATF agents are trained to word things in a way to entrap you. Did you listen to, there was a guy and a lady.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
She was trying to be, oh, I'm your friend. You're not going to get in trouble.
Good
Turn
cop,
it over.
bad cop bullshit.
Yeah. And that guy's there sitting there the whole time and like, oh, I'm a badass.
Yeah.
And then she's like, you're not going to get in trouble. But then at the end, when he's like, no, I'm not going to give you anything. Then she's like, well, you're going to be in trouble. You could get in trouble for this.
If you get caught with it, you're going to get in trouble.
She totally flipped the script.
Yeah.
So they're trying to entrap you.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, no, if you just hand this over, you're fine. We're just, no problem. If you were to admit you have it and hand it over, that you're basically saying,
I committed a crime. Here you go.
I committed a crime. Here you go. And then they can use that against you.
It's like, officer, have you been drinking? Is this a trick question?
Exactly. And there's evidence. And like we said in that court case, the ATF is trained to do things in a certain way and word things in a certain way to entrap you. And
they can't come in without a warrant.
But they're gonna
try to play you like they're your friend, so you can get
and like in. You have no other choice.
Yeah.
And when they come to your house in full body, body armor and a gun, it's like,
I just one of these days want to see someone strapped with an AR across their chest, be like, mine's bigger.
Yep. And it's like, dudes, like he's like, we don't want to be here doing this. It's like, okay, well, you don't have to if you.
That's what he said. I remember that. I laughed.
It's like,
you don't have to. You're breaking the law anyways. Get out of here.
Yeah. So that's
I watched a couple of videos of that. I was laughing. They're going door to door.
And the guy was like, and he mentioned how the lady's like, yeah, we changed the law, or we've changed some things. And he's like, well, you don't have the ability to change the law.
You don't have the ability to change law. When did it go to?
You're part of the executive branch. You can't make law. Congress hasn't voted on this.
Yep.
So just because you changed your mind, or the people you work for changed their mind, doesn't mean this
anything.
Is, yeah. And that lady was nice. Oh, no big deal. Oh, wait. Hey, by the way, you're going to get in trouble, even though she said he wasn't.
Yeah.
God, it's just getting scary. That's why I kind of stay away from some of that stuff that's like questionable.
Yeah.
Like bump stocks, cool. Not for me. I'm going to stay away from that. I had one. It sucked. It was hard to do. Stuff like that with the triggers. I'd rather get my class 3 license and just get a real one.
Yeah, at that point.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with that. And I don't want to sell that stuff in my business and just because that's how they track you down is
through sales.
They go through the retailers, and then there's a way to track you down.
Yep. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just getting worse and worse.
It is.
But we keep saying
Trump.
Their true colors.
2024.
Yeah.
Or someone else, but not Biden or Harris or a Democrat.
Exactly. Or God forbid Hillary.
Yeah.
I think she's wanting to run again.
God, I don't know.
I don't know. Would you rather Joe Biden because he just...
I just rather us just overthrow the government and show them our true colors. That's what I'd rather do.
Yeah.
Quit living in fear.
But here's...
Show them fear. I saw a video.
How would that work, though? So if you're going to overthrow the government... That's going to throw, anybody, like say if you have elderly grandparents.
Yeah.
Where's Social Security that they're living on? Where's that going to come from?
I guess we'll have to restart it.
How are you going to do that?
We'll reelect who we want at that point.
There's a lot more involved with that. Like, so you overthrow the government.
Overthrow the government, change everything, elect who we want and where we want these people and what they're going to do. Yeah. And then we'll go down another 200 years and then probably do the same thing again. It's a never-ending cycle. We were never supposed to be a two-party system.
Well, and most governments, no matter what, look at Rome too, don't last forever.
Yeah.
Like they always crash.
Yep.
It's something
scary to think about. We're almost there.
Overdue. But anyway, lighter notes. Yeah. We're sitting up higher than we were last time.
Yeah, it's different.
It's weird. We're not sitting in the office chairs. We're in dining room chairs that are
higher, and they can also lean back a lot more.
Well, yeah, it's different. I just wanted to get more stuff. I still didn't get the Mosin just because I zoomed in on us, but you can kind of see the tail end of the Mosin up there.
Dang.
But if I go up a little bit, there you go. There's the Mosin.
There it is.
Bam. Maybe we just need to keep it here.
Yeah.
I forgot to zoom up. I wasn't paying attention. Bush Reagan 84 hat up there.
Yep. Nice 300 blackout.
Yep. You can't see it because Chris's shoulder's blocking my 300 blackout suppressor.
Oh, at that.
Bam. There you go. Because they're legal. No matter what those Terminator Karen say, you can own, in most states anyway,
a freedom rifle.
State. In a free state, you can own that freedom rifle and that thing on the end. And what's behind my shoulder, but I'm not going to show it because YouTube doesn't like it. But standard capacity magazines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus that one in the middle up there, the Glock, the famous Glock one.
The FU.
That's flipping you off. That's a nice Glock one. Standard capacity, by the way.
Yeah.
So let us know your guys' thoughts on everything we talked about. What you think.
Yeah, let us know if you're a Terminator Karen.
I don't think Terminator Karens are listening to this.
Oh, I'm sure they are. Probably look at these two guys telling us that we're wrong.
They showed my face on their podcast and then called me a Terminator Karen. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yes, we made it big.
No, I'm sorry to say we're not Joe Rogan, so you didn't make it big. Sorry.
Not yet. Dang it.
Actually, well, they made it on Calling the Wars, and he's got like over 2 million. So technically, they did make it big.
Yeah.
Just not on our channel.
Dang.
I know. So, as I mentioned, I'm going to California. And I think we did a podcast recently how I had the dilemma on my motorcycle, right? just to kind of get off the gun subject and talk about something different. So I've been still toying around, do I upgrade or not? So I bought the Memphis Shades Road Warrior fairing because I want to possibly take this Iron 883 on the highway and just not get hit with stuff as I'm driving because it's annoying. There's a lot of trucks out here. Every video I've watched, nobody's had any issues installing that on their bike. Well, guess what I didn't realize, and nobody ever mentioned this, is everybody else has either bigger handlebars or raised handlebars. Nothing says that. It doesn't even say anything on Revzilla's or Memphis Shades thing saying fitment, raise your handlebars. And it says if you have fork mounted turn signals, you have to relocate them potentially. I don't have them fork mounted. I have them up on the handlebars.
Yep.
Guess what didn't fit?
Your fairing?
My fairing that I spent a lot of money on. Super pissed off. And then I have the stock handlebar setup. So it's like, okay, the only option is to mount the turn signals to the forks.
Yep.
And then it may not even fit. So I needed to do a video on that. But I'm to the point now to where it's like, I'm like, all right, the money I want to put into this bike, I can buy a Softail for cheaper, honestly, and not have to do all this stuff to it. So I've been going up to Harley, looking at all these Softails and stuff, and I was wanting to I wanted to test ride a Street Bob, and finally I sat on a different bike. The one guy, I always get a different salesman every time, but this one guy was trying to get me to look at a Softail, the classic heritage.
Yeah.
It's their old school style, looks like an old man bike. It was comfortable, but I'm like, this is not my style. It looks like an old man bike. But I'm like, I still wanted to test drive the Street Bob, maybe the Lowrider ST, a little sportier Softails. So he's like, all right, getting ready to just give me your license. So I open up my wallet, see a license there, give it to him. And he looks at it, he's like, well, this is your concealed carry. I know you're safe, but where's your driver's license? I'm like, oh, shit. I don't know. And in a panic, I look through my wallet, my pockets. I'm like, oh, my God, I don't have my driver's license.
Oh, shit.
At some point, I don't know when, because in my wallet, I have like a flip out thing where I keep I have my concealed carry and my driver's license, and both look very similar because a concealed carry looks like a driver's license. It just says concealed carry. So I never get carded anywhere. So I rarely pull out my driver's license. So who knows when it fell out? And I just didn't notice because every other time if I glance at it, I see what looks like my license, but it was just my concealed carry. So needless to say, I couldn't test drive that day because they didn't know I had my endorsement, which is probably for the better.
They should know you had your endorsement. You did their motorcycle class.
I did the motorcycle course, but you have to actually have the endorsement through the DMV. So, so I had to go get and then I'm like, shit, I'm flying out of state in a couple of days. So luckily I have a passport because you go get your driver's license renewed. They give you a paper receipt, which does not work at the airport.
Really?
It doesn't. I could possibly use my concealed carry, but I don't know. It's not the real ID, even though that doesn't go into effect until 2025.
Yeah.
So I got to use
that paper one should work.
No.
Check your passport to make sure it's not expired.
Yes, it's good for 10 years. Ooh. So I got it renewed a few years ago, so we're good. I think it expires 2031. So plenty of time. So yeah, but it's like, great, now I have to bring a freaking passport. But at the same time, it's like, well, shit, I've been riding my motorcycle without a license showing I have a motorcycle endorsement.
Let alone driving.
Yeah, let alone driving. So it's like, but then it's like, I don't know when I lost it. So I looked at all my bank statements, and I called everywhere I've been the last month. Nobody found it. So it's like, crap, man. Huh. Maybe somebody didn't turn it in. Somebody found it, and they're going to use it. Oh, fake ID.
Yeah.
But apparently, she put in lost ID. So if somebody actually scans the barcode on the back, that'll pop up. But other than that, I mean, if you're just flashing it and maybe want to somehow use it on the black market, I'm fucked. But it's nerve-wracking not knowing where your ID is because of everything you can do now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like, shoot.
Huh.
Yeah, so I was going to test drive
Well, I was.
And the guy was like, well, did you find it yet? I'm like, no. So he wants me to come test drive, but I'm like, man, what pisses me off about the Harley dealerships is I look on the website.
They tell you MSRP.
Harley's website that says MSRP, and then you got to add the freight cost and a surcharge now because of COVID. Thanks a lot. So it's usually an additional $1,800 on top of MSRP. Well, if you go to a Harley dealership, they will never, ever give you the price of a bike. Ever. Unless it's used, maybe they will. So I go in there. I know the price of these straight bobs. I'm like, how much do those go for? He's like, oh, mid to low 20s. I'm like, motherfucker, I know you're wrong. I know on Harley's website it says that like 16, starting at 16. And he's like, oh, that website's always wrong. And I'm like, seriously? Why would a large company like Harley have an MSRP of like, say, 16,000? Okay, I get you have to add the
freight and service charge.
That's still under 20.
Yeah.
Yet you're telling me mid to low 20s? Really?
Yeah.
And they will never, ever, even when I bought the iron, they won't give you a price. They're like, what do you want your payment to be? We'll get you your payment to where you want to. It's like, okay, great. But if you know anything about finances.
What you should do, go and see this check, $19,000. That's all I got.
Mm-hmm. That's even too much, honestly.
Yeah. But still, just see what they do. Because I guarantee they'll be like, oh, okay.
Right? But it's like they get everybody focused on the
what your payment is.
But what people don't realize is they stretch that out 84 months
to get you your payment.
You need to know what your interest rate is
and
what you're buying the bike for, because you're going to be paying way more.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, dude, I want to know the price of the bike. I don't care about my payment. Tell me the price of the bike and the interest, and they will not give it to you.
Yeah,
and I'm like, look, on your website it's this, and they're like, that's never right.
Yeah, sure it is.
That's what pisses me off about Harley.
Just call Harley, big company, and see what they say.
Yeah, even at Harley, they're like, you know what HD stands for? High dollar. I'm like, yeah, no shit, bro. You quoted me over $1,600 for higher bars.
Yeah, fuck that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what got me on upgrading a bike, is because I went to Harley, and I'm like, what would it cost to get mini apes?
Just get an Indian.
I don't like the electronic throttle.
It's snappier.
It's not. There's a lot of take up on that.
You think there is?
I don't like the looks of the handlebars and the controls. Why don't you get an Indian and give me shit about it?
Because
okay.
I don't need one.
Uh-huh.
You tried and tried and tried.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like, what? Give me a quote on the handlebars, because it's, handlebars are pretty cheap.
Yeah.
But then you got to buy new cables because everything's longer. I'm like, okay, maybe
That's how they get you.
Maybe like $800. No, almost $800 for just the parts. And then another night, and then I went back there, and the guy quoted me. The parts guy's like, "Oh, we'll take you to service." And the guy wrote down a number. It was $909. I'm like, okay, that's a lot of money, but fine, $909 all in. And he's like, no, that's just labor on top of those parts. I'm like, so you're charging well over $1,600 for handlebars? Like, you are fucking nuts. Yep. So I went to another dealership that deals in everything else. Like, they're not just a Harley dealership. They have everything. They quoted over $2,000.
Jesus.
Like, what the fuck?
What the?
Okay, well, right there, between that and the seat I want and the fairing that's useless right now, I buy a street bob, I'm even Steven pretty much. It's annoying.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's why I stick to cars.
You still run into the same situation.
Not like that.
Well, yeah, but
parts maybe. Labor, no.
Well, because you know how to do all that shit. I could probably figure out how to do all the extensions and stuff.
I bet it would be easy.
The whole thing is that you got to change the brake cables, and then you got to bleed the brakes and all that. I
don't think bleeding the brakes would be an issue.
Yeah, it's just two wheels, a lot less room for error than four.
Well, the cable one, all it is it's just like a bike cable.
Right.
But bleeding a brake will be probably just as simple as a car.
And I've watched YouTube videos on this stupid Memphis shades fairing. Everything went smooth. I do it. Everything is like harder than shit. So I know if I watch these videos on how to change out these handlebars and all these cables, everybody makes it look out to be easy. I do it. it's a fucking clusterfuck.
Then I'll get a phone call. Hey, I need help.
Yep. And then you're going to come over and be like, well, this is stupid. I don't know.
I could figure it out.
And then I'm stuck with a broken bike.
Should have just taken it to Harley.
Should have just gotten a different one. Yeah.
Oh, man.
But then I'm up there, I'm like, all right, well, I know in my head what I should pay for this bike. But then I'm like, well, then if I get the ST, it's got a bigger engine, a little bit better. Well, then if I spend a little bit more, I get this one. And then you're like...
Snowball thing. Yeah. That's what they get you on.
I know.
I hate companies that do that.
But no, like me personally, it's like, okay, so the next step up from here is the Street Bob. But I know I like comfort and the bags. I get the benefit of the bags now versus not ever. I always thought having bags on your bike was stupid, but now I'm like, all right, I'm more toward, I get the comfort idea. So now it's like, do you spend the more money for all that stuff together and not have to change anything?
Yep.
It's just,
yeah,
I don't know what to do. I'm going to test drive a bunch of different things and see.
That's what I would do.
Just because I get any other bike I get on besides my iron seems big.
It's probably just getting used to it.
Yeah, because the tank, I mean, the iron has a peanut tank and it's a small bike. And then even going up to the Street Bob, I mean, it's got a fat tank and just everything seems bigger. And it's like, whoa, am I going to be able to maneuver this?
Oh, you will be able to. Just take a little learning curve.
Yeah. And then you get it up.
Just might as well buy used at that point, though.
Man, the freaking used prices, at least at the dealership, aren't.
Well, that's a dealership.
Yeah. But private market, I don't know. You still have to find a.
Yeah.
And then we found out with the whole warranty issue.
Yeah. You want that warranty because who would have thought a piston would crack at so many miles
on a new bike? Less than 500. By the way.
Fuck that.
Anyway, we would digress. So again, let us know what you guys think on all that stuff we talked about.
And if you're a Terminator Karen, say hi.
Yeah. Well, we will catch you guys next week on episode 75, which will be the 3/4 century mark.
Ooh, almost
We'll have
there.
to drink something special for that one. Well, Chris, what do you got for us?
Remember, this is a YouTube podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and tickle that bell. If you're listening on any other platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, or any of those other podcast platforms, remember to follow us. With that, everyone, have a good one.